Hi, this is Dodger, and you're watching my show! The cat didn't realize that I was going to start filming, and now he's like, oops, sorry, did I interrupt your stuff? I'll just go back now. So, I just got back from GDC last night. It was so much fun. So fun. GDC is very chill, although I have to say this year there were way more people than last year, but I think that that's a good thing. It's good to go to GDC and know there's a possibility of things being announced, that there are going to be a lot of companies there, because then everybody who's coming there looking for a job and wanting to network knows that there are going to be people that they're interested in talking to. Also, I believe that my autofocus is on. It is. Why? Why do you do these things, webcam? But I am glad to be back. I'm glad to be making my show, so let's discuss stuff. First piece of news. So Mass Effect 3 came out, and on the PS3, just like Skyrim. This will be deja vu for all of you who played Skyrim on PS3 and were like, why are there problems with textures? Why are there so many issues? Well, now, if you were playing Mass Effect 3 on your PS3, you might have noticed that sometimes the frame rate falls down to sometimes 20 frames per second. Now, there is a big difference, unfortunately, between 30 frames per second and 20 frames per second. You can definitely see the difference, so this is an issue that people are being kind of loud about. What I don't get is that they knew this was a problem. Like, this was an issue that had been brought up before. They knew that there were frame rate issues on the PS3, and yet the final product didn't fix them. So I'm wondering whether or not there's going to be a way for them to fix that from here. Like, now that people have the game, is there an update that they can do, like a patch that can come out that will fix that, just like with Skyrim when they tried to fix that? It's just, everybody's been looking forward to this game. Everybody looks forward to Skyrim, everybody's looking forward to this game. It's always these ones. Apparently, just in general, the game can kind of slow down and get kind of murky and laggy whenever there's like really intense cinematic, or whenever something explodes, or anything that requires a lot of energy. I guess regardless of what platform you're playing it on, it's having problems that way. So that's kind of depressing. I personally have yet to play it. So, by the way, do you like my cool Alice in Wonderland travel mug that Chris from Crisscross Media got me? Because I love it. Oh, and I have matching ones, so we're going to try to not use each other's. I'm kidding, we wouldn't care if we used each other's. For any of you that play Rock Band and really love that they've been doing weekly DLC, Harmonix at GDC said that they have no plans to stop putting out DLC. They think that it's great and that it's a really great way to keep people interested in the game and the community really strong, so that's something that is going to persist as long as they can make it keep on happening. Really abuse how much bigger this frame is when I use the webcam, because I'm like, 4 years. They have been putting out weekly DLC for 4 years. Is that as crazy to you as it is to me? Because that blows my mind. Like, that is a lot of dedication to the people who are playing your game. I think that is impressive. Okay, do you guys remember when Quantic Dream did a tech demo? It was called The Casting, I believe, and it came out before Heavy Rain, kind of gave an idea of what sort of technology they were going to be working with. It was very cool. So this year at GDC, they showed a new tech demo that is called Kara, and it's a standard robot story. It's an android girl being made and then feeling feelings and then not being okay and all of that, and it's great. It's really, really well made. And made me really want that to be a game, but apparently in the casting, elements of the casting wound up being part of Heavy Rain, and they were very deliberate about saying at GDC this year that elements in Kara aren't necessarily going to be in their new game, which was kind of sad for me. I was like, I would play that game. I would play a game about little android girl feeling feelings. I will link you guys to that in the description so that you can watch it, because I think that it's very cool to watch. It kind of shows where motion capture technology in games is going, which we've seen a lot of really impressive stuff before, so it's not something that's mind-blowing. You're not gonna watch it and be like, what? I don't know what to do with all of these feels, but it's still very, very cool to watch, and I think makes people really excited about the next Quantic Dream game, which I think is the intention. As a final bit of news, and this was very interesting to me, I'm not even an Xbox user, and I was really excited about this. So the new Xbox may not have a disk drive. Now you might be sitting there going, what? You crazy, that's crazy talk. It's gotta have a disk drive, how else do you play the game? So obviously this implies that the system would be a digital only system, which I'm totally cool with. It might even borrow from the idea of the Vita, where you can get the game digitally, or you can own like an SD card that has the game on it if you want. But I really like the idea of having a console that is entirely able to be populated through the internet. So there are goods and bads for this, right? Like, the good is you wouldn't have to deal with the system not being able to read a disk properly. You wouldn't have to deal with keeping the disk clean, with maintaining everything so that everything will work perfectly, red ring of death, all of that nonsense would hopefully be a thing of the past. It wouldn't be backwards compatible, which is sad. It also wouldn't be able to play DVDs, of course, which is also sad. I think that we were all just so used to our consoles being able to double as basically like a mini computer. You're able to play your CDs, you're able to watch DVDs, you're able to do all of these other things with it, but a solid state, like, media, basically just a hard drive, right? It's an interesting idea that I think is very cool, but it's going to take away a lot of the things that we're used to, which is going to be hard for most of us. And again, this is just a rumor. Do not take this as gospel. This is not something that they have laid out in stone. I think that this is just a possible working model that got leaked. So why not talk about it, right? But what about you guys? Does that sound like something that you would be interested in, or would you just wind up being like, hey man, I can already basically have that on my own without buying this whole new system? I don't know. Interesting things happening and being talked about at GDC this year, but I absolutely loved it. If you guys went to GDC, let me know how you liked it. Let me know whether or not you had fun, because again, I say this all the time. I say this all the time to everyone because it's the truth. GDC is my favorite event. Hands down. Hands down. I'm gonna go play some Street Fighter Cross Tekken, so I hope that you guys have a fantastic night and a great weekend. I'm going to try to film some Dead Space, because it's been forever since I filmed that very first one, so I'm just gonna be screaming and flailing all over the place. But, yeah. Have a great night, and I will talk to you guys again on Monday. Okay, bye-bye. Mwah! Stop putting out weekly blah, 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 blah.